Hey guys, and welcome back to the accumulation zone. In today's video I will be showing you guys how I managed to make 12% net profit gain on account just by today trading the London Killzone and the New York Killzone on US 30 and the British pound US dollar. So if you want to learn how I managed to make a 12% net profit, watch this video to the end. It's a very simple and easy to follow strategy, I promise. Alright, so pre-London I always check for my daily opening gap, which we had right here. Here we had Friday and here is Sunday, according to New York local time UTC -5. So we saw this little opening gap right here that perfectly was filled to the wick. So all the bodies right here respected this opening gap, giving us a nice indication that this actually might hold some support. Right now we are still below the VWAP right here. That's brought by us by the Session Pro indicator and resets at New York local time midnight. Alright, so next step would be to mark up your important levels, and for me that's always the Asian session high or low, depending if we are below or above the Asian session. So we can mark up both levels if you want right here. Those are our Asian session high and lows, and usually especially if we're below the Asian session right here, our Asian box, I am marking up one level above. So this would be a high, I'm just going to color this in gray, and one level below right here. So those are all the important levels that I'm going to be looking at throughout the session. I'm going to extend these lines, and we will see what's going to happen around these important levels, because that's what we're looking at right now on a 5-minute time frame. So it's 1:55 and 5 minutes ahead of the Europe opening. So, and also noted right here, we formed a lower low on the US 30 chart right here. So we broke this low and formed a new lower low. But at the same time, right here on the stochastic eye, we managed to form a higher low, presenting us a case of bullish divergence inside of Monday's opening gap right here. That's pretty interesting to me. So let's see what the next 5-minute candle brings us. And we got our close, our bullish close, now with a bullish candle colored by the Scalper Pro indicator. So let me actually open that indicator up. That indicator, my indicator, just changed its color from red to green, giving us a bullish signal. We also closed above the VWAP, and we had a stochastic RSI crossover right here. But unfortunately, our stochastic RSI indicator right here with these settings, 3388, has already touched the 80 level. And the rules say if we're already above the 80 level, we do not take this entry. But that's basically up to you. If you have a case like this where everything's lining up with your analysis, a bullish divergence, a close above the VWAP, a bullish candle color change, and beautiful support from Friday to Monday's opening gap right here, you could still enter this trade with a maybe only half the risk you would usually risk on a typical trade. So you could basically go for 0.5% risk, because not all the rules are applied right here on this trade entry. Again, we are going for a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is not too far away right here, only 50 pips. And we will see how that goes. Of course, this is not a valid trade entry, and we will see how that is going to play out. So with our next candle inside of the London Killzone now, this blue box, also delivered by the Session Pro indicator, we see that we are now already running in profit at the time of 2:05. Let's continue and see what we get. We start to see some initial support on our Asian session low. Alright, so we are continuing further to the upside. Let's see what that brings. And the stochastic RSI is now crossing over bearish. And for a valid trade entry, I'm going to keep this small right here, because this is not a valid trade entry, but still a pretty good damn entry. We are going to wait for our next crossover, our bullish crossover on the stochastic RSI, as long as we are staying above the VWAP and our candle color is colored in green by the Scalper Pro indicator. Alright, so let's continue. And we see right here on this candle at 2:45, we received our next entry opportunity. Alright, so I'm going to place my stop loss right here at the swing low. You could also be using the ATR right here with those settings on US30 only, and place your stop loss at the ATR level. We are going to go for a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. This is the level where we are going to break even and move our stop loss to break even, and our full take profit is going to occur at a 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And also note the timing right now, it's 2:45. We have 3 more candles until the London Open, which usually brings a lot of volatility into the market. Alright, let's continue. 2 candles, so now it's 2:55, and with the next 5-minute candle, we are going to see lots of volatility entering into the market. Or not volatility, we could basically say volume, because with the London Open, that's usually what happens. We are already positioned long, and let's see what that next 5-minute candle brings. And with that London opening candle, we see that we just took out the Asian session high, but we did not make it above those highs right here from last Friday at 3 p.m. New York local time. So, by normally risking 1% per trade, we made a total net profit of 2% on this position. Alright, so those are our first 2% for the day on US30 with all valid entries. Basically here, this trade would have also hit take profit, and if you only risk 50% of your capital, you could have made a 1% profit. Alright, so let's continue and see how this is continuing to play out, because we're still looking for bullish entries as long as we are above the VWAP and the candle color is colored in bullish, or is colored bullish in green by the Scalper Pro. So we are going to continue. Usually what I do right here, I'm setting a alert roughly at the 65 level to alert me once the stochastic RSI curved back. Usually that takes 15, 20, 25 minutes, where I put my focus on, for example, the other chart that I'm trading. Today, for example, the British pound US dollar. So I am just simply waiting. Now I saw we took out this high at 3 p.m. So we will see how the price is going to react to this level. We see we now got our stochastic RSI crossover bearish right here at 320. But we are simply waiting for our K line right here on the stochastic RSI to break the 60 level again before we start to look for new entries. Alright, so right here my alert would have went off and I would have started to look at this chart again. I see that we broke above this high right here at 3 p.m. and I have nothing else marked on my chart. Of course I could fix that by drawing more lines, but this is not the point of the strategy, because you don't actually need those lines in order to trade with the strategy. Those are just for guidance and as reference points. Alright, so we see the K line just entered the oversold territory. So we are going to wait for a new bullish crossover on the stochastic RSI. Right here on this candle, it would look like we already crossed over, but if we really zoom in, the indicator did not cross over yet. So we are going to see one more candle. And right here at the time of this candle close, we would enter into a new long position with our stop loss being placed right here at the most recent swing low. And we are going to target a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio right here, going for a total risk to reward ratio of 2 to 1. Alright guys, let's see how this trade played out. Next candle, we're already running a profit right here, 10 minutes after that entry. Let's also use a vertical line right here. Make it a little bit more obvious. So we already netted 2% profit. So if we're going to lose this trade, we're only giving away 1% of our net profit already. So let's see how price is going to bounce off this 3 p.m. high that we formed on Friday. So let's see. Alright, so we did get close to our break-even position and we just triggered our break-even. So in this case right now, I would move my stop loss to break-even. And we also just closed or finished the London Killzone. So we are just simply going to wait until our take profit target or our break-even level is being hit. Because at this point right now, we already secured 2% net profit according to the strategy rules. And if you took this trade right here, you could have already be sitting at 3% net profit for the day, only trading the US30 on a 5-minute time frame. And this is a very easy to follow strategy. That's why I designed it with the stochastic RSI. It's super simple to follow even as a beginner trader. So let's see how this trade played out. we got a rejection from this level, and we are going to continue to consolidate, I think. Yep, we are consolidating, so nothing happening right now. Let's see, this is the gap time anyway, where we don't look forward to take trades. We are only taking trades from the 2 a.m. until 5 a.m. London session right here, because that's 3 hours and you can really focus during 3 hours. If you're continuing to trade for another 3 hours, that's rough. Sitting 6 hours straight with full focus and concentration, that's typically not possible, at least not for me personally. Alright, let's continue and see if this trade would have hit our take profit. We're still consolidating, we're still in the side of the same range. We got pretty close to our break-even level, but as you see, we did not trigger our break-even. So let's continue. The New York Killzone just opened up at 8 a.m. We got a bullish crossover, but right now the candles are colored in red, so we are not going to take this entry. And right here at 8:20 we just hit our take profit, making this also another winning trade right here. Hang on, let me grab that here. Come on. Another 2% profit for the day, making this a total net profit of 4% before we even received our first entry during the New York Killzone. Alright, so now, because you don't have to watch this trade to play out, all you have to do is to set your take profit target, where you usually place it at a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and you can also place an alert at 1.5 risk to reward, where you can simply get alerted and notified once this level is hit, and all you have to do is go back to your computer or tap it on your phone and move your stop loss to your entry level. That's all you have to do, and then you can walk away and enjoy your life or enjoy the rest of your day until the New York session starts, if you are trading it. I did today, and I was waiting patiently for a new bullish crossover below the 50 level, since we are still above the VWAP. Alright, so let's see. We had news, I think, going on at 8:30 a.m. New York local time. Some news, but we still didn't get an entry, unfortunately, here on US 30. I think we did get one on the Nasdaq 100 index, but I only watched US 30 and British pound today, so very simple, we did not get an entry here. Right now we are waiting for a pullback continuation setup. Alright, let's see what we got right here. So we see the stochastic RSI is now below the 50 level, and this is when I bring my full attention to this chart, because now I'm specifically waiting for this crossover to happen and to execute with perfect execution is my goal right now. So I see we're now below the 20 level, so I start to focus even more. I see the crossover is basically imminent, and right here on this candle, on this up close candle, we got the confirmation signal, so I try to be as fast as possible, place my stop loss at the most recent swing low, and I want to target a 2-to-1 risk to reward. Of course, time is the most important aspect about trading. It's 9:25, so with that next 5-minute candle, the US equity market is going to open up at 9:30 a.m. New York local time. So we will see what this does with our entry. We see our stop loss has been triggered. Unfortunately, this turned out to be a losing trade. Alright, but that's part of trading. Losing trades are your business expenses. Alright, so we lost 1% here, very quickly, very painless basically. Let's see if we get another entry opportunity, because the stochastic RSI is still below the 50 level. Let's continue. So we just got a bearish crossover. And maybe with that next candle, alright, nope. We actually got an entry opportunity with that close, so this trade is over. We are looking for a new pullback continuation entry. We had a beautiful wick to the downside, so we're entering right here. I am placing my stop loss either at this low right here, or maybe this candle's low, just to give it a little bit of more breathing room in case there's going to be another wick that wants to take out this low right here. Alright, so we are going for a 2-to-1 risk to reward right now, and see if this trade is going to play out. Alright, let's see. And we hit our take profit target. So by 10:10, right here at 10 a.m. New York local time, only 2 hours into the New York Killzone, we made another profitable trade with a total profit of 2% by risking 1% of your account in case the trade hits your stop loss. And so far we already netted 246% net profit. Profit minus the -1 considered as your business expense, the cost for doing or trading in this business. We are running or looking at a total net profit of plus 5% during the London and New York Killzone trading with the Scalper Pro Stochastic RSI strategy. Pretty simple and very easy to follow. You don't have to be a PhD or something to trade with the strategy. It's super simple, and that's how I designed it. Alright, let's look at the 5-minute price action on the British Pound US dollar today. I don't want to waste your time, so I'm not going to click it through candle by candle. I showed it once. I'm showing it in my live streams. I showed it in the most recent videos as well. It's too simple. I almost feel stupid walking you through it every time, but it's literally this simple. So remember, step 1 is we are drawing out our most important levels before the London Killzone at 2 AM New York local time. Therefore, I marked out my previous day low, so this is Friday's low, and of course also the Asian session levels, even though I did not do that prior to the session because I already saw we took it out. And the most obvious or most important liquidity level right here, or key level, would be our previous day's low, which we took out prior to the 2 AM opening right here on the British Pound US dollar. We took it out. We had a bullish engulfing candlestick with a bullish stochastic RSI crossover right here. But same as on the US 30 chart, we did not get an entry signal right here. Of course, we could have taken it, but nothing is confirmed there. Alright, so our first entry occurred when, obviously with the first bullish stochastic RSI crossover, since we are above the VWAP in a green colored candle right here based on the Scalper Pro. So if we open up the Scalper Pro up here, that's where those candle colors come from right here. We see the Scalper Pro is colored in green since this candle right here, this candle close, the first green candle. Alright, because I don't like to have too much on my chart, I usually collapse this indicator, the Scalper Pro indicator, where you will find a link to a 10-day free trial in the video description below. So we basically waited for our stochastic RSI crossover right here, and we received it at 2:55, 5 minutes prior to the London Open. So we take this trade, I place my stop loss at the most recent swing low, and we hit a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio within the first 5 minutes of the London Killzone. Not Killzone, but 5 minutes after the open. Alright, so the next entry, again, we received when? With the next bullish stochastic RSI crossover below the 50 level. So we received this entry right here. I placed my stop loss at the most recent swing low, but unfortunately I have been taken out because price wanted to retest VWAP. So we lost 1% here. But remember, it's our business expense. It's all due to probability. So don't worry about your losing trades. Focus on your row of trades and focus on executing perfectly, flawlessly, without any mistakes. That's what you should be focusing on. Because the outcome of every trade right here, based on those set rules, they are completely random. Just because we get this crossover right here on this trade does not mean that price is forced or deemed to go to the upside. The outcome of every single trade is random if looking at every single trade on its own. But if you look at it on a row of trades, let's say for example 50 or 100 trades, that's when the outcome can become predictable with a win rate of roughly 50 to 60%. But the outcome of every single one trade within this row is random, so we are just going to take all of them. Alright, so we had our losing trade right here. We changed candle color, but with this next bullish engulfing candle, we closed above the VWAP, we changed the candle color back to bullish, and we had a bullish stochastic RSI crossover. I placed my stop loss on the most recent swing low, and we had a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio within 30 minutes. And now we're looking at a net profit of 3% during the London Killzone. So let's see how the New York Killzone would have played out. Alright, so very similar to what we saw in US 30, we also had this consolidation here on the British Pound US dollar. So we waited for our first bullish crossover inside of our New York Killzone starting at 8 AM New York local time. and ending at 11 a.m. New York local time. And we received our first bullish crossover below the 50 level here, highlighted by this green bar or stick right here. We received it right here at 8:05, so the second 5-minute candle of our New York Killzone. I placed my stop loss at the most recent swing low, which was right here, for roughly 9 pips stop loss. And we hit our take profit target very quickly after the news hit the market at 8:30 a.m. New York local time for another winning trade with a total net profit of 2%. And right now we are looking at a net profit of 5% on the British pound US dollar. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6% net profit minus -1. So that would be 5% net profit for the day, with only taking 1, 2, 3, 4 trades that are very simple to take, and you don't have to sit in front of the charts for multiple hours, only during a very specific time window. Alright, so then we of course wait for our next entry opportunity, which would have came across at 9:25, 5 minutes prior to the New York equity markets opening right here, because after this entry right here, we did not get another bullish crossover below the 50 level. So we can simply set an alert for the stochastic RSI to cross the 55 level, for example. That's usually what I do. Once that has been crossed, I'm setting a few more alerts, so I know when I have to put my full attention to this chart. Alright, so we received the crossover at 9:25. I placed my entry at the close of this candle, and I placed my stop loss at the most recent swing low for an 11 pip stop loss. Again, going for a simple 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Once I have my entry, I place my stop loss on my phone, I place my take profit target, I set an alert on TradingView right here at 1 to 1.5 risk to reward, so I'm going to be alerted when I have to move my stop loss to break even. And once that's all done, I can forget about the trade and go back to my US30 chart and start watching that one. I don't have to be babysitting every single trade. I place my stop loss and my take profit, and I'm done. There's nothing I can do about the outcome of this trade, because remember what I said earlier, the outcome of this trade is going to be random. Just because we received our signal right here does not mean that this trade is going to be a winning trade. Expect a losing trade and then you have nothing to worry about, because if you're always expecting winners, you're going to be consistently upset because the trade didn't turn out a winning trade and you actually lost, and you go through all this shit that comes up if you lose a trade, and then you maybe start to revenge trade or some other stuff that can be very simply avoided. So yeah, that's basically it. New York Killzone, we made a total net profit of plus 4%. We did receive another entry right here with a bullish stochastic RSI crossover, but guess what? We changed candle colors just at the same time, so making this entry a unvalid entry, because our most important rule right here, the candle color has not been validated by the Scalper Pro as a bullish candle, so we are not going to take the signal. So let's add everything up right now. So on this day, on a British pound US dollar, we are done trading now. We don't care what's happening outside of our boxes. We made 2, 4, 6, 8% profit. We had our expense right here where we lost 1%, making this a total net profit for the day of 7%, minus commissions, of course, if you're trading on a commission-based account and not based mainly on spread. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm using 8cap, because they offer awesome raw accounts where you pay a little bit of commission, but you don't have to suffer big spreads that you get with most very cheap online brokers. So 7% net profit on the British pound US dollar. Let's head over to US30, because those were the two pairs that I was trading today, and I was focused on only taking trades on. So we saw 2% profit right here, 4% profit already brings us up to a net profit of 11%. Then we lost 1% right here, so we're back to 10. And we had our last winning trade at 9:45, and we took profit at 10:05. So we made a total net profit of 12% for the day. How insane is that? 12% for the day, by simply following those very simple rules. Of course, not every day is going to look like this. And I don't want to claim it at all, because on some days you're gonna end up losing. And it's part of it. It's all part of the bigger picture. And that is what you have to focus on. It's not about how much you make today or tomorrow. It's about how many trades you take with perfect execution over a sample size of trades, for example 100 trades. And only if you do that, you can actually call yourself a consistently profitable trader. Because a inconsistent profitable trader is worried about the outcome of every single trade. But that's not how probabilities work. So yeah, please keep that in mind, and I hope you learned something from today's video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, if you are interested in live signals during each session, make sure to join us on Discord. The link for that is in the description box below. And if you haven't already, there's a 10-day free trial link to test out the Scalper Pro indicator, and also the link is in the video description below. Alright guys, take care and trade safe. I will see you tomorrow on Discord.